In this artwork, we are using what we learned from making a traditional Mondrian artwork, and we are letting ourselves be creative and do new things, add new ideas. So today you get to pick 2 primary colors, and of course, as with Piet Mondrian's painting, you can just take a primary color and paint a shape. Be sure to cover all the white and smooth all the blobs, remembering that it's fine to paint on the tape because we will be peeling it up. You don't have to try to not paint on the tape. But here's another cool thing you can do. You can start with a primary color, and then you can add just a tiny bit of another primary color. I'm gonna add blue, and now I'm gonna mix it. I just add the teensiest bit because I'm going to blend, and I'm going to go from yellow to blue. So I'm gonna go from one primary color to another. Now I painted that new color. It doesn't look a lot different, does it? So I'm gonna add a little tiny bit more. See how little I'm using? Just a tiny bit. And now I'm gonna mix it. I'm not gonna paint it directly on my painting until I've mixed and mixed and mixed. And it is changing. Now I'm gonna paint that. I'm blending it in to go. I don't wanna paint over this part because I wanna save that, and I want that to be yellow. If I paint over it, I'll change it to this color. Now, if I want, I could take this color and I could paint another shape that color, but I think it's so close to yellow, I don't wanna do that yet. I'm gonna add a little bit more. As your primary color gets more and more looking like the secondary color, you're gonna have to add more of the other primary color to get it darker. In the beginning, you just add a tiny little dot. So I'm blending, but I'm leaving lots of room because now I'm gonna add a little bit of a scoop. And you're gonna see that it needs a lot to get darker. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more, scoop that up, and mix and mix and mix. Don't forget to mix. I want you guys to experiment with mixing. Ooh, that might have been too dark, but what I can do, if it's too much of a line, I wanna show you how you can use brush stroke to blend. So you're gonna get all the paint from your paintbrush onto your paper. I'm still leaving room. And then you're just gonna do a circle motion like that on that line between those 2 colors, and you're gonna see it'll blend nicely. Now I'm gonna scoop up quite a bit more and darken it. I'm pretty sure that's getting dark. I don't think we're gonna get all the way to blue. I think it's just gonna go from yellow to green because I'm going slow. I'm gonna use that same method to blend because that looks, I can see a stripe there and I don't wanna see a stripe. Do you guys remember what I'm supposed to do first? My paintbrush still has paint on it. That's right, I really need to finish getting all the paint out, and if that's pretty much the last color I have, that's fine. So the paintbrush has very little paint on it now, and what's the next step? How do I smooth out that line between those 2 shades of green? That's right, I do a little circle motion. And it blends. Now, if I want it to be a little dark, I could take a little bit of the blue and blend it. And what's a good brush stroke for blending? Yes, a circle motion, and I can just I'm not gonna add any more paint. I'm just gonna blend it up. And because my paintbrush doesn't have much paint on it, it's not changing it too much. Uh-oh. I don't want to lose the yellow, but I am going up and up. I should stop. Ah, okay, I'm gonna stop there. So now I could, if I want, I could paint one of these shapes blue, or I could save it because I might want to use red next week. Next week you can pick the primary color you didn't use, and then the other one. And you can see it's not pure blue because we're not gonna wash our brushes today because we're using 2 primary colors and the colors that go in between that are made with those 2 primary colors. Now I can stop there if I want, or I could make another color. Maybe I wanna make a really dark green. Let's experiment a little bit. That's a nice dark green. What do I want to do? I might want to paint this little shape, that solid color. I'd like to see you blend today at least one of the shapes like I did. Go from one color to another color, blending. You could do blending on all your shapes. It's a very fun exercise. You can also start in the middle of the shape. So I'm starting with green and I'm gonna add a little more blue. To make it blue, I really have to add quite a bit to change that color. I don't even think that's different. I need to add a big scoop. I think that might be different. Oh yeah, I can see that's different. And if I want to get some of the paint off my brush, I can twirl my brush. It also makes it into a nice point. And now I'm gonna do that nice circle motion around that center color, like that. And then I'm going to scoop, keep it flat, don't pick it up like me. I was picking it up so you could see it better, but I got paint on myself doing that. This is really called a palette because it's where our colors are being mixed. Oftentimes palettes have little cups in them. So I think I've changed it enough. I scooped some blue and mixed it, and I'm gonna go around. I'm not gonna go over what I painted because I will then sort of erase the color, that different greenish color. And now that I've sort of gone out, you know, I could just take this blue and I could go to the edges with this blue color. All the way. Now remember, the 2 important things to make it really look finished is to cover the white spots and smooth out the blobs. And I can paint this whole side. I want to leave 2 shapes because I definitely want to have some red in mine, but I'm gonna blend a little bit. I know I'm going over my color, but I just want it to look smooth. All right. Great. Now, when I have left what I want for next week, I can take this to the drying rack, put it in, and then I'm going to wash my paintbrush, make sure that, I'll just show you real fast, a really important aspect to washing your paintbrush is first, yikes, you are going to get your hands wet. I mean dirty and wet. So you have to hold it with one hand and rub. And see how my hand gets dirty? But don't worry, the water will clean it. So make sure you rub it. You can check to see if it's clean. If it's clean, then you put it in the paintbrush cup, hair side up. Oh, you can finish getting all that paint off your hands. All right, can't wait to see what you do.